guys, welcome back to our Texas homestead. Today I'm going to be making some sausage potato kale soup. It's just like the Zuppa Toscana at Olive Garden, and it's super easy. I got 3 pounds of sausage browning back there, and then I'm going to peel 10 pounds of potatoes. And then it's 1.5 pounds of de-stemmed kale, and I just bought some kale that was already chopped up in a bag. So we're just going to get all these potatoes peeled up. It said 10 pounds of unpeeled potatoes equals a pound of, or equals 9 pounds of peeled potatoes. So I'm just putting these in some cold water over here so they don't turn brown. And I got my jars in the oven on warm, so those will be heated up by the time I get ready to put everything in there. And for the sausage, you can use plain, Italian, spicy, whatever you like best. It even said you could use chorizo. I used Italian. So I'm going to finish getting this 10 pounds of potatoes peeled up, and then I'll bring you back. So I decided to do these and not exactly follow the recipe. So it says to brown up your sausage, cut up the potatoes, add that to the sausage, add the kale and the chicken broth, and let it all warm up together. You don't actually cook the potatoes, just so it's all warm. And then you put it in the jars. But I feel like when you do that, some end up with more sausage, some end up with more potatoes, some end up with just mainly chicken broth. So I did the sausage, I started to warm up the chicken broth, and then I decided not to. So I'm just cutting up the potatoes and putting them in the jars. I'll put the kale in there, and then everything will have basically the same amount. So to start with, we're going to put like half a teaspoon or a little less of salt in each one. And then the same with pepper. And basically just dividing a teaspoon of salt between 3 of them. Let me go let the dogs in. Okay, and then the same thing with the pepper. I'm just dividing a teaspoon out between like 3. Or maybe a little less, a teaspoon between 4. And I actually don't even know how many jars this is going to make, so I probably should have just done the salt and pepper last. But and then, let's see. This says 1/2 inch cubes on the potatoes. So I just cut it in half and cut it in half again. The good thing with pressure canning is you don't have to follow the recipe exactly because you're not worried about the acidity of it. But if you're water bath canning, then you have to worry about the acidity of what you're doing, and so you have to follow it exactly. Okay, so I got the 16 pints I planned on filled up with potatoes, and I still have a few potatoes left. So I'm going to top it off with everything else and see what I have. Decide if I'm going to do these last few jars. So I want to make sure I have enough of the sausage to put in there. So I just bought a bag of kale, and then I had some in the freezer, so I got a little extra if I need some. And the kale will, of course, cook down a lot, so I'm just shoving some in there. I guess the good thing about cooking this beforehand would be that the kale would already have been shrunk down. Should fill up a few more, and then we'll put the sausage, the chicken broth in there. Let's see. This is where I should definitely use the funnel so it doesn't get grease all over the rim. So basically like that. So it's like 3/4 full of potatoes, a couple handfuls of kale, and then a couple tablespoons of sausage. And then I filled it up to right underneath the rim with the chicken broth. I'm trying to decide if I want a little less potato and more sausage, but I think I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm going to finish filling these up, probably get out the rest of the jars, and I'll bring you back. So I've cut up a couple more of the potatoes. I had a little sausage left. So I decided it's much easier to do it with the sausage in the bottom, then the kale, then the potatoes. So I got these all filled up. You're going to debubble them. This one I can already tell needs some more. These three I'm just putting water in because I didn't want to open up another thing of chicken stock. And then we're going to get a cloth with some vinegar on it. Definitely want to make sure you want to wipe the rims really good on these with the sausage. Anytime you do any kind of meats where you're going to have grease, make sure you wash them or wipe them down good. A new lid, and a ring. And then they're ready to go out in the canner. So I'm going to get everything outside and I'll meet you there. So I got 11 jars in the bottom. I'm going to put my other little trivet down so I can get the rest of them in there. So I got 19 jars, I think, 19 pints. So I got just some olive oil. And I'm going to rub it along the inside right here. So hopefully I can get the lid off this time, because I keep forgetting to put oil on it. Something about turning the camera off makes them all fall into place. So I like the All-American because you can fit so many jars in there, but I don't like the lid. Okay. So we got it turned on. It's going to take a while to warm up. This one takes a lot longer than this one does, which is why it's nice with this one to have everything hot and do it. But since I struggle with the lid's hot, and then I have a problem with that. So, anyway, whenever it starts venting, we'll let it vent for 10 minutes, and then we'll put the weight on it. I'll bring it back in there. I'm not sure if you can see the vent, but it's been venting for 10 minutes. So I'm going to put the weight on, 10 pounds of pressure for our altitude. And then you probably can't see it, but there's the gauge. There's 10 pounds. So when it comes up to there, I'll set the timer for 75 minutes. Since I did pints, it's 90 minutes if you do quarts. But I'm not sure if I ever showed you, and I don't think you can see it either. But there's a little arrow right here and a notch. And then over here, there's these little L's. So you get those two to match up, and then all these little L's, there's like 4 around of them. Just got to go, it's like an L that comes off the lid and then this thing. So they got to meet together, and that's how you get the lid on there all the way. So it's around 8 pounds of pressure. So a few more minutes, it'll be up there, and then I'll set it for 75 minutes. And then when it's done, I'll turn it all off, let it sit here and cool for a little bit, or come all the way down to pressure, and then sit for like another 10 minutes, and then I'll take them out. So here's how our sausage kale potato soup looks. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope it tastes like, oh, when you make it, put a splash of heavy whipping cream or milk in it, so it'll be creamy like it is at Olive Garden. So, hope you liked the video. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next time.